We're back. When we talk about the Queen of Heavens, this is a very important subject that you want to get familiar with. Okay, so we're gonna go right into it. This says the Queen of the Heavens. All right, who is the Queen of the Heavens? The Queen of the Heavens is a title for a goddess worshipped by apostate Israelites in the days of Jeremiah. If you don't know what apostate is, it's somebody who is like Cain, going against God, or somebody who want to do things their own way, or somebody who may get confused, who may not have accurate understanding of the word, so they end up doing things their own way. So this is what apostates are. So at some point, the apostates, instead of worshiping Jehovah, they ended up worshiping the Queen of the Heavens. So who is the Queen of the Heavens? It says, although the women were primarily involved, apparently the entire family practiced in some way in worshiping the Queen of the Heavens. The women baked sacrificial cakes, and the sons collected the firewood, and the fathers lit the fires. All right. It says that the worship of this goddess had such a stronghold on the Jews is reflected by the fact that those who had fled down to Egypt after the murder of Governor Gedaliah had attributed their calamity to neglecting to make sacrificial smoke and drink offerings to the Queen of the Heavens. The prophet Jeremiah, though forcefully pointed out the wrongness of their view. Right? So Jeremiah was the one that had to explain to them that they was worshiping the Queen of the Heavens. You see what I'm saying? It was mostly the women. Like it says here, it says, although the women were primarily involved, apparently the entire family participated in some way. So a lot of times the women would make the men partake in this. It says, it appears that Ishtar worship spread to other countries. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go back. Let me see. It says, scripture does not specifically identify who the Queen of the Heavens is, but it is suggested that this goddess is to be identified with the Sumerian fertility goddess. There's a key word again, fertility goddess, Inanna, Babylonian Ishtar. The name Inanna literally means Queen of the Heaven. And the corresponding Babylonian goddess Ishtar was qualified as the Akkadian text as the Ipis of the Queen of the Heaven, the Queen of the Heavens of the stars, right? All right, so it says it appears that Ishtar worship spread to other countries. In one of the Anmara tablets writing that Ishtar, Mistress of Heaven. In ancient Egypt, the inscription believed to have ever blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? So this is how it spread. It said the worship of the Queen of the Heavens was practiced as the late 4th century. All right. And it says, on a certain day, they read often up to the name of Mary. So eventually, this became the Virgin Mary. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show you how that happened. Now, well, hold on. Let me show y'all this real quick. What is this? Hold on. No. Wait, hold on. Queen of Heaven. That's what we just did. Give me a second. All right. So, hold on. Let me go back. Let me try this out. So, you know what I'm saying? Through what they call like when you see certain stuff be Latin, like written in Latin. You know what I'm saying? Like Latinization of scripture, shit like that, like more to Brazil, stuff like that. A lot of that stuff be what they call fusion. You see what I'm saying? Fusion mean like mixing stuff together. You see what I'm saying? Mixing truths together. That's a lot of stuff comes from Babylon. So I'm saying, I want to show y'all this real quick though too. So we got, says, from Earth Mother to Fertility Goddess. Do you recognize the cover picture on the cover of this magazine? Also on the cover of this channel, believe it or not, it says it is Isis, the ancient mother goddess of Egypt. If you have visited a museum or looked through the book of ancient history, you've probably already seen idols resembling it. It says, would you bow down and worship the goddess Isis? If you belong to one of the Christian religions, you may have a strange question. You would likely insist that your creator, that you worship the creator, the one addressed in Our Father. The idea of bowing down to a mother goddess may seem strange, but even repugnant. Nevertheless, such worship has been widely spread throughout history, and you may be shocked just to know who worship the great goddess today. All right. However, before discussing that, let's get some background considering the extent of the mother goddess worship in ancient times. This is the worship appears to have been very form of false religion. Statuettes and images of naked mother goddess have been unearthed by archaeologists ancient sites all over the world. The Earth Mother was looked upon as the constant source of all forms of life, giving life and then taking it back to herself at death. As such, she was worshipped but also feared. To start with, it was believed that her reproductive powers were non-sexual. Then the mythology has it she gave birth to the masculine sky father and became his wife. This couple brought forth innumerable other gods and goddesses. The Babylonian Prototype. The Babylonian pantheon, Ishtar was the principal goddess with identical with Sumerian fertility goddess Inanna. Paradoxically, she was both the goddess of war and the goddess of love and voluptuousness. In the book Less Religions, blah, 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 French scholar says she was a goddess, the lady of the merciful mother who listens to prayer and intercedes before the angry gods and calms them. She was exalted above all. She became the goddess of goddesses, the queen of all the gods, the sovereign of the gods of heaven and earth. Ishtar's worshippers addressed her as the Virgin, the Holy Virgin, the Virgin Mother. Ancient Sumerio-Akkadian prayer lamenting Ishtar states, I pray to thee, O lady, blah, 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 Ishtar, queen of the peoples, blah, blah, blah. All right, it says the mother goddess worship spreads. All right, speaks out upon the expansion of Ishtar worship. It appears spread through Mesopotamia, either through Ishtar herself or goddess with different names. All right, here we go. But similar attributes were worshipped in Egypt, Phoenicia, and Canaan, as well as Anatolia, Greece, and Italy. Principal mother goddess worship in Egypt was Isis. All right. H.G. Wells wrote, Isis attracted many devotees who vowed their life to her. Her images stood in the temple, crowned as the queen of the heaven, bearing the infant Horus in her arms. The candles flared and guttered before her. All right. So that's Egypt. Isis worship was extremely popular. So in Phoenicia, the Canaan mothers focused on Ashtaroth or Astarte, said to be the wife of Baal, likely her Babylonian counterpart Ishtar. She was both a fertility and war goddess. In Egypt, ancient inscriptions have been found with Astarte, the lady of heaven and the queen of the heavens. The Israelites have put up a constant fight against the degrading influence of the worship of this fertility goddess. All right. So in the northwest Anatolia, the equivalent of Ishtar was Sybil. All right. She was known as the great mother of all gods. She was also known as the all-begetter, the all-nourisher, the mother of all blessed. The Anatolia cult of Sybil spread through from Greece to Rome. All right. The primitive Greeks worshipped the other goddess called Gaia. You probably heard of this. Gaia. All right. This is Greek. Same archetype. So saying, but in their pantheon includes some type of Ishtar worships, such as Aphrodite, the goddess of fertility and love, Athena, the goddess of war, and Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. All right. In Rome, Venus was the goddess of love, and such as corresponded to the Greek Aphrodite and Babylonian Ishtar. All right. The Romans, however, also worshipped the goddess Isis, Sybil, Minerva, who reflected, in one way or the other, the Babylonian archetype Ishtar. Clearly, for thousands of years, the mother goddess worship was a powerful rival to pure worship of the great creator Jehovah. Did the worship of the great mother goddess die out, or has it survived to present day? Well, that's what we're going to discuss. All right. So let me put this right here. All right. So that's background on the different archetypes of the fertility goddess, who they call the queen of heaven. All right. So when you look in like a situation like this, you see what I'm saying? This is called the Black Madonna. You know what I'm saying? Now there's pictures online of the Pope, you see what I'm saying, bowing down to this right here. You see what I'm saying? And you see basically supposed to be the Virgin Mary holding baby Jesus. That's what most people think that this is. As a matter of fact, hold on, let me click on this. So then you Google the Black Madonna. So it comes up, it says paintings are usually icons, Byzantine origin style, some produced 13th, 14th century, other examples, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? These are Black Madonnas. Black Madonna is coming different forms of speculation behind the reason of a dark hue. You know what I'm saying? A lot of different speculation on why, hey, what's going on, on why, you know what I'm saying, she's black. You know what I'm saying? But you see all these countries where they got the Black Madonna, right? All these countries. This is where the Pope follows through all of these countries, and they all bow down and worship. You know what I'm saying? It says in the Americas, Brazil, Chile, Costa Rica, Cuban, Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to talk about in a second. You see what I'm saying? So if you read into this, you see what I'm saying? They don't tell you most of the stuff. They're not going to tell you about Ishtar. You see what I'm saying? They're going to give you a list of all of them. So I'm saying, but they're not going to talk about Ishtar. They're not going to talk about Isis. They're not going to talk about none of that in this particular article. They're just going to tell you what the Black Madonna is and where they are. You see what I'm saying? Right? So that's Black Madonna. You see the picture they got there, the Black Madonna of Chesapeake, Poland, right? But then, right, open up another article. You go to type in Erzuli. You see what I'm saying? Erzuli, what's that? Same picture. Erzuli. You're like, hold on. Well, what's going on here? Who is Erzuli? You see what I'm saying? Erzuli is a family of Loa or spirits in voodoo. Right? Same thing. Right? You're like, well, hold on. So why they got two different articles? Right? So it's Erzuli. It's a spirit of Loa, which I was saying for Loa. It's like serpents. You know what I'm saying? In voodoo. So Erzuli is a family of Loa that are often associated with water, fluidity, femininity, feminine bodies, basically fertility. You see what I'm saying? They are the only ones group of spirits directly tied to characteristics who become possessed through spirit possession, often are women or queer men. Right? So this is you can go look this up yourself. You know what I'm saying? Get some more information on this. You know what I'm saying? So this is Ishtar. So I'm saying in voodoo, which is called Urzuli, right? So when you go watch like Ghostbusters, they had a scene. You know what I'm saying? In Ghostbusters, where she gets possessed by this. What I really like to do is talk to Dana. I want to talk to Dana. There is no Dana. There is only Zoo. Oh, Zoo, you not come on. Come on, I want to talk to Dana. Dana, just relax. Come on. Dana. You want to talk to Dana? There is no Dana, only Zoo. What a lovely singing voice you must have. Now I'm gonna. So I don't want to play too much of this. I don't want them to flag the video. You know what I'm saying? But if you go look up, you know what I'm saying, the scene in Ghostbusters, they call it Zool. You know what I'm saying? This is Urzuli. Like, and mind you, they brought the same thing back in Ghostbusters Afterlife. You know what I'm saying? It says Zool, gatekeeper, is a demigod minion of Gozar, along with Vin's possessed Dana in Ghostbusters, and both Cat, I think was it Callie and Lucky in Ghostbusters Afterlife. So they brought Zool back for Ghostbusters Afterlife. And you see the same thing it was saying about possession, that it was saying here that typically they become possessed. So they show you this in Ghostbusters. Like, one of the main archetype for the female archetype was Zool. That was the one that came and possessed the women. It was two different dogs that had to possess. One of them was man and one of them was woman. The gatekeeper in Ghostbusters was the man, and Urzuli or Zool was the one for the woman. You know what I'm saying? So we got this guy, you know what I'm saying, who basically explains what we call fusion. This is something you might want to go look up. It's called Santeria, the fusion of the gods, where he's explaining exactly how Ishtar became the Virgin Mary, right? Because if you go look up on Wikipedia and you type in, let me bring this up, the Queen of Heaven, right? So the Queen of Heaven, they have the titles given to the Virgin Mary by Christians, mainly by the Catholic Church, right? The Queen of Heaven. You know what I'm saying? To a lesser degree. So I'm saying the Catholic Church began teaching on the subject expressed through papal and Clement. This is all, so I'm saying, Italian. It starts going into Latin and stuff like that. So I'm saying the Queen of Heaven and her son Jesus Christ, the King of Israel. You know what I'm saying? But you look carefully, it says right here, the title Queen of Heaven has long been a Catholic tradition, including prayers, devotion, literature, Western art. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't fuse through fusion, through religious fusion. They've turned the Virgin Mary into Isis. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm explaining to you. So the Queen of Heaven, many titles. It don't say nothing in here about Isis, Ishtar, the stuff I just showed you, the stuff that's actually in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? If you go to the book of Jeremiah, like that's what it was telling you, you know, in this other article, it was telling you, you know, in the book of Jeremiah is where you find right here, Jeremiah 44:19. You see what I'm saying? That's the actual scripture where it refers to the Queen of Heaven. It says, and the women were making sacrifice to the Queen of Heaven. You see what I'm saying? Pouring out drink. So, but when you go look up on Wikipedia, the actual Queen of Heaven, it don't tell you nothing about that in it. The one thing it do says, where's it at? It says biblical basis. Let's go to biblical basis. You see what I'm saying? All right. In the Hebrew Bible, under Great Lady, Mother King, Advocate, so King Solomon, blah, 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 make a request, Mother. In the New Testament, blah, blah, blah. This is all fusion. So I want you to understand this is fusion. The Catholic Church views Mary as the woman clothed, Revelation son, you know what I'm saying? So this is all interpretation. This is not actual from the Bible. So I'm saying that, look, the last paragraph it tells you right here. It says, in the Hebrew Bible, the term Queen of Heaven appears in a context unrelated to Mary. Wait, what? Hold on, what? In the Hebrew Bible, the term Queen of Heaven appears in a context unrelated to Mary. Okay. So in the actual Bible, this is unrelated to Mary. The prophet Jeremiah, which I just told you, in writing 628 BC, refers to a Queen of Heaven in chapter 7 and 44 of the book of Jeremiah, which he scolds the people for having sinned against the Lord due to their idolatrous practices, burning incense, making cakes, and pouring out drinks and offerings to her. This is the title was probably given to Asheroth, the Canaanite idol, and goddess worshipped in ancient Israel and Judah. So it tells you very briefly right here that actually, you know, if you read the actual book, this is the real Queen of Heaven. You know what I'm saying? But through the fusion, like what they call Santeria fusion, religious fusion, they blend this together. So listen, I want you to hear this. Hold on, this is playing in 2x, so I hope y'all can keep up. You know what I'm saying? I watch all my videos in 2x because I ain't got time to be, you know.
Mercury time.
There were several kingdoms around Nigeria: Benin, Togo, Ghana, Senegal, and Congo. And these are the people that were brought to the islands in Brazil, in Cuba. What the Spaniards didn't know, they considered all equal blacks.
Hold on, man. That might be a little too fast for y'all. I be watching my videos. It's something I suggest that if you follow my page, something you might want to do is watch your videos in 2x. You can get a lot of stuff done in half the time. But I'm gonna slow this down just for the sake of
a beast of work. They thought they were all spoke the same language, and that they all understood each other, without realizing that they brought 26 different races.
Oh, wow.
With over 120 languages and dialects. But what they did have in common is ways of worshiping. And the worshiping was based in nature. Now, this religion arrives through Christopher Columbus, right? They were mostly baptized as Catholics. No two ways about it.
So they didn't have a choice.
No choice. So they began to hide what they worship behind the Catholic saints. And from there they were Santeria, who means in Spanish worship of saints.
Okay.
But in the African side, the word saint don't exist. Exists the word Orisha.
Orisha.
And Ori is this part inside called your own consciousness.
Okay.
And Sha means protector or guide of your consciousness.
Okay.
Like a guardian angel,
Yeah.
to say. They began to practice the religion hidden from the Spaniards. The slaves were divided in groups.
Okay, so he quickly, hold on, I'm gonna go to about 13 minutes into this. Hold on, wait, about 13 minutes. He explains, we're going right here. Let's see.
And create a new Orisha for the advancement of the planet.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
So where did you get this from? How does...
I got it the day I was initiated. And there are sacred things inside that we worship as the embodiment of these Orishas. Okay? Now, we have male and female Orishas. Okay? We have male and female Orishas. We have, for example, Obatala is the king of consciousness. He lives in the top of the mountain. We have a female Orisha that he's a priest of, called Yimaya. It means ella, mother of fishes. She rules the ocean. We have another Orisha called Oshun. She rules the rivers. We have another Orisha, male Orisha called Shango. He rules the dance, the music, and thunder. He will be like Thor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the equivalent of Thor.
So do they have the kind of European...
The original ones are the Africans, who, as we believe, traveled the world. Now, in Greece, Obatala is Zeus, Shango is Apollo, Oshun is Aphrodite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes...
Okay? In Egypt, Osiris, Horus, so on and so forth, and Babylon, and so on and so forth.
It makes sense if human evolution was coming that way. Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah. So they'd bring their gods and goddesses with them.
And went east.
Yeah.
All right, so I hope y'all keeping up. So we're gonna go about 28 minutes into this last little clip of this. It's a great. I would suggest y'all go watch this whole video. It's called Santeria, Fusion of the God. It's a great.
In men's, we go to a pub. We get drunk. We fist fight. We bloody.
Yeah.
And then we keep drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And we call each other's friends.
And we all...
Okay? Just like the hooligans in football.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In soccer.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Women's keep it in. And it could pass 20 years. And they will still go after you.
Shit. I'm fucked.
Okay?
Yeah.
They never forget.
So, are you just quite content, happy here? You got a good life, or have you any plans to expand, to arrange
No,
shops?
I was offered. I initiated several American actors
Could you
and the religion.
could you say any more?
Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's a Babylao. Okay, of my religion.
Good actor.
Very good actor. Jamie Presley.
So when you see this movie right here, he said, like you heard him say, Forrest Whitaker. Where's Forrest at? Right? When you see Forrest Whitaker in Black Panther doing the rights and stuff, you see what I'm saying? This is the guy that actually, well, you know, he's not on screen right now, obviously, but you know, that's the guy that actually trained Forrest Whitaker to do, you know, he's an actual Ifa priest. I don't know if he's Ifa or Gun. You see what I'm saying? So Mary was not the only saint that was well, she's not a saint. You'll see she was not the only one that was, you know, fused with voodoo. You see what I'm saying? And like if you go look up all the Orisha, like hold on, let me see if I can turn this around. Like you ever see these candles out? Like you see what I'm saying? Like when there's a whole bunch of people get shot. You see what I'm saying? And they have a candle. Like look, they got Neo on it. Like they didn't start putting Hollywood celebrities on these too. But like these, like when you see death on there, like someone got death, and then like different saints will. And mind you, like some of these are Orisha ones too. Like these little candles. You go up in the Spanish store and you see these candles, or like when a whole bunch of people get killed and you see they come out and light all these at the same time, and the mother be out there crying. You know what I'm saying? This is all Ishtar worship. You know what I'm saying? This is where this comes from. When people get shot and they go out there do the candlelight visual. You know what I'm saying? They put out all these candles and stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is what this is. You know what I'm saying? And this is something you can go look up too. Like, so like they got all the Orishas and the saints. So like this is the Orisha, right? And then this is the saint that it's attached to. You see what I'm saying? Right? And it's other ones too. You can go look this up. So these are Orishas and how they, like I said, through fusion, they mix this stuff together. You see what I'm saying? So you look up and you don't know the difference between Urzuli and the Black Madonna. You don't really know it. Look, it's like literally, it's literally the same thing. So this is that fusion. You know what I'm saying? I could have reversed the picture and you wouldn't have known the difference. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So when you talking about the Queen of Heaven and fertility, you know what I'm saying? And then like I've said this in the other video before. Jehovah is the God of words. You know what I'm saying? Oshun, the Queen of Heaven, Isis, these are the goddess of fertility. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I guess I can show y'all that real quick too. Yeah, look there. She look like real quick. I can show y'all this. You know what I'm saying? This is man, my computer been acting funny because I got all these window tabs open. Well, hold on, let me see it might play. This is from Ghostbusters Afterlife, just recently. So I'm saying, you see. Okay, so you see the scene. She's looking at it's fertility. It's like she's a mom looking at pictures of the kids. You see what I'm saying? And like what's gonna happen is Zul's gonna jump in her. She's having a moment, kind of like, you know. And then, so that's when it's talking about possession. That's this scene where it says it possessed Dana. That's this.
Mom? Mom? Mom, are you okay?
There is no mom. There is only Zul.
What's happening right now?
Mom?
Is she okay? Mom?
Right there. See that right there? Right there. Right there. Oh, they probably blocked it. Hold on, did they block it? Yeah. See, like they blocking it. But right there. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if they blocking the string. You see what I'm saying? But right there, you see, that's real. You talking about Zul, Isis, fertility. You see what I'm saying? Right there. That's a little boy. You see what I'm saying? Am I? You like, I'm not, y'all go look this scene up yourself. You see what I'm saying? It's called Terror Dogs, Control Scene. You see what I'm saying? You go look it up yourself. You see what I'm saying? But that's like a little boy. And like if you go look at the other scene, like where they had Bill Murray in the first Ghostbusters with this one. Like, you see what I'm saying? When they show you this. You see what I'm saying? It was kind of more like, mind you, like I remember I was in the movie theater when I saw that scene. I was a kid when I first saw that scene. I had never seen a woman even act like that before. I was like, whoa, like I didn't even show you like when he came in the door. Like, you know what I'm saying? That scene is way bigger than what I showed you. You know what I'm saying? It was a scene where he came through the door and like she came to the door like she was just ready to like smack. Like it was like all this over seductive fertility energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a woman basically ovulate. You see what I'm saying? But way past ovulation, it was like lust. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like you go watch that scene, you see what I'm saying? And then like you go look at like a scene like this, you see what I'm saying, where they got her grabbing on the little boy like that. Where we at? Oh, come on, man. Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? That right there. You see what I'm saying? They cut it quick too. You see what I'm saying? Like right there, they like the kid jumped in between them real quick. Like literally, you talking like not even 1 or 2 seconds right after that shot. Like it was quick. Like she kind of grabbed him by the head and she was like, oh, and they were like, what are you doing? Like they cut it quick. It didn't go as long as it did from the first Ghostbusters movie when it was with Bill Murray. But they wanted to show you, like, you see what I'm saying, that like this is really what you dealing with. Even though it was a kid, they still showed you. Like, even though it was quick, it happened so fast that like you gotta have an eye to know, kind of like, hold on, man, like did she just try to seduce the little boy? You see what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, you know, and this is when you're dealing with the Queen of Heaven, when you're dealing with the real Queen of Heaven, you see what I'm saying? You're talking about this type of spirits and voodoo and you'll say Razuli. This is what you're dealing with. Because like, you know, that typically, you know, when you're talking to the average woman, you're talking about fertility, they gonna tell you, like the average woman, this is why in Genesis, you go read Genesis 3, this is why God put man over the woman, literally for this is exactly what we were sitting there talking about, is that like, there's and even though that's the case, you still got, like they say, certain apostates who still, you know what I'm saying, worship fertility, basically. Like they never admit this openly, you know what I'm saying, but it's like, technically, yeah, it's like yeah, you kind of worship fertility, or you kind of think that the woman is more fertile than the man. You know what I'm saying? When in reality, they both as fertile as each other. This is why when you read Genesis 3, God said, okay, I'm going to put the man over the woman, just so if the man don't ever want you in the first place, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it basically said, you're going to long for your man, and he's going to have to dominate you. He's not going to want you, basically. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, I'm going to do that to prove that he's just as fertile as you. Because if you ain't got no sperm, there ain't no fertility. You know what I'm saying? So this is literally why, you know what I'm saying, when you talk about Jehovah's system, man came out of the word. Man was born out of the word, not out of a woman, per se. He was born out of the word. Like, you got people talking about theory of evolution, how we evolved from apes, and, like, we came out of reptilian, all that. It's like, if you read correctly, there were things already here, kind of. Like, so there's a lot of stuff already here. Like, you know, but man came from that, out of the word, man came from that, and woman came out of man. You see what I'm saying? In the order of, when you talk about human beings, everything else on this planet, we basically follows the order of Oshun or Zuli. You know what I'm saying? We talking about fertility in general, not necessarily the difference between fertility in general versus the fertility in humans, and that humans have the ability to speak words. So I'm saying, so this is real key when you're dealing with the Queen of Heaven. So I'm saying, you have to put it in its proper context, and that, like, you know what I'm saying, we know what that is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, we don't have understanding of how nature works into the feminine aspect of the universe, and how, you know what I'm saying, the way we all come from a woman, you know what I'm saying, and the way that we're supposed to treat our mother, and the relationship we have with our mother, the relationship we have with our wives, the relationship we have with our sisters, the relationship we have in women in general. You know what I'm saying? It is supposed to be nurtured in a certain way according to the word. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people take the word and create patriarchal systems that completely dominate and rule over women and take advantage of the word, which makes a lot of women not even want to submit to the word. You know what I'm saying? But when it's done according actually to the accurate information, you know what I'm saying, it will naturally make a woman want to submit to the word if it's actual truth. Because at the end of the day, everybody is going to submit to truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're just naturally, your whole core is rotten, and you know what I'm saying, want to submit to lies. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when you remove the religious aspect, remove the patriarchal aspect of it, you know what I'm saying, when you're going into the word, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, Jehovah is a God of truth. And everybody is going to, at the end of the day, has to submit to truth. You see what I'm saying? And that's key when comparing it to something like the Queen of Heaven. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of these types of things can get misconstrued. Like this is literally what happened with the serpent in the Bible. When you got the serpent telling Eve, to bite the apple, and she can do things her way, and she don't have to submit, and you got talking about Lilith, things like this, and like Lilith, and about women who don't want to submit and stuff like this, and follow the actual according to how the word is gonna go. You see what I'm saying? And eventually into the kingdom of God, which we're in right now. You see what I'm saying? So like everything has to be done according to the word, not on how you want to do things. And one of the biggest aspects that you're gonna run into is when you're dealing with is fertility and the way that women handle these concepts. You know what I'm saying? Talking about submitting to, the truth, and that the truth has to be the absolute truth in order to get the woman to submit to, or any man, woman or man, to submit to truth. It has to be all the way truth. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to belittle, women, because you talking about the Virgin Mary. You know what I'm saying? It's not like throwing Virgin Mary under the bus, stuff like that. So I'm saying, but it's like, no, you don't want to put, at the same time, you don't want to put the Virgin Mary on a pedestal and start calling her the Queen of Heaven. You know what I'm saying? After a title that was given to some apostate guy, when you don't know the truth. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep things in its proper context. You know what I'm saying? This is like even the police, like a crime crowd right now, and call the police. Police supposed to show up to fix the situation. Police show up, start shooting, and everybody. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what they're supposed to do. So even in situations like that, like even when we're dealing with the police, everything has to be done to the standard that it's supposed to be done at. You can't just take the law and do what you want to do with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything has to be done in the right accord. You know what I'm saying? And putting things in a proper place where it goes. Even whether you're talking about race, we are black Africans, so white people, man, woman, child, elder, youth, you know what I'm saying? Gay, straight, lesbian, everything, when you're dealing with the truth, has to be at some point put in its place. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. So on that note, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? If you got any questions, you can always you know what I'm saying, leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, if you got anything you want to say, leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? Ask any questions in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get at you. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? Sign up for next.com, and I will see you on the next video. You dig.